We're live, yeah. We've come to the end of the day, at the end entirely of the questioning of HN58. As I trialed on the previous video that I might be joined by Rajif Menon. Obviously, that's not the case. I am joined with Evelyn Lubbers again. I probably shouldn't have mentioned that he would, but he said, he promised that he would, and then said, but I do have to prepare myself for the Filton 24 appeal hearing tomorrow, which obviously is quite a big deal. And obviously that's far more important. He says he'll do it next week. Anyway, we'll see. On Friday, not tomorrow. Anyway, the point is that we've bloody finished with HN58. The further questions were quite limited. They revolved around Carlo Sirachi and what he knew. We were provided the transcript where Sirachi said that he told HN58 about the sexual relationships.
Can't remember, can't recall. Wow, what a surprise.
Yeah, I mean, that's been the theme of the last 3 days, really. There was a few other minor topics. I mean, essentially, at the end of the day, HN58 couldn't remember a bloody thing. We don't know how old he is. I mean, we've got the distinct impression he is quite old. It was put to him that we have interrupted his retirement for 3 days and that he could go back to it now. And thank you very much was said to him. He will be coming back for one of the closed hearings, which suggests that the closed hearings will be happening after this. We never really know much about the closed hearings. We get the impression there's a lot more of them than there are open hearings. But
we don't know.
We really don't know.
Closed
we really
and they're secret.
Yeah.
So it's very good to have a public inquiry into a secret police unit, which has more or has so many closed hearings and closed officers as well. There's so many officers that we don't know the name of. Some even don't even have like one of those HN numbers. So we don't even know how many of them are there. They may have been into the extreme right or into
other things.
We don't know. We don't even know. We're not told. They all, like, it's not been said so often anymore, but we are, like Mitting said several times, like, you can be critical of the STS, but you don't know what I know or what I've heard and all the good things that the STS did, to summarize it in my own words.
There might actually be weapons of mass destruction in Baghdad. Who knows? One of the closed officers we actually have learned a bit about over the last 3 days is HN91, who previously was a closed officer, and but we got the impression that he wasn't. That he was in one of the closed areas, but it appears not. It appears like he was in an open area because he was spying on Jean-Charles de Menez.
Which is quite a revelation as well, that there was an undercover officer in that campaign. And I know from Kevin Blow from Netpol, who was like involved in that campaign very much, that they always thought so, but he kind of lost interest in the inquiry. He couldn't,
Totally understandable, by the way.
Yeah, totally understandable. But I will ask him whether he knew this and whether he's surprised by this. And then the other thing that we learned about HN91, that he is one of the one that had a relationship with a member of the public, an activist maybe, and that he was like about to tell her about his profession. So that's all we know. We don't know whether he did or whether it was a major crisis that he was planning to do that. But that's the good thing about listening to everything, however boring it is that the slivers of information that you get through that.
Yeah. I don't know really what else there is to. You might be able to tell that we're absolutely exhausted. It's an early finish today, but it feels like it's been a very long one. So I don't know how much really there is to add. I would say that, as been mentioned many times, I could do with a donation or two. The link is on the screen. So if you would like to support this work, you can give me a donation at ko-fi.com/Tom B. Fowler. It all just keeps this thing going.
And another way of donating to Tom's work is spread the word.
Yes.
Like and
all that stuff. And thank you to everybody who does, and it really makes a difference. Please continue to do that. Really appreciate it. Is there anything else you want to add?
No, let's go home early and be prepared to another manager who hopefully remembers a bit more than this one.
Well, he's got a filing cabinet memory, according to Mike Dell.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my God.
HN53, the detective inspector of the unit, both for HN58 and for Mike Dell, who we heard from last week. He's come up a lot in the reports. He was the person who ran the investigation into James Thompson. There's a lot that we expect him to be asked about. Anyway, thanks for joining. We'll see you all in the morning. The broadcast will start at 10:15. We'll